I'd like to call the public hearing for the City of North Augusta, South Carolina fiscal year 2026 proposed budget. The folks who are here, we appreciate you being here for whatever reason, whether it's for this or the 6 o'clock meeting. I would just tell you, if you're interested in saying something, just raise your hand. I'll recognize you to come down to the podium. I'll ask you to give your name and address for the record. You'll have 5 minutes to make a comment to us about the budget only. As a reminder to our council, this is just like our comment period for citizens before we vote on an ordinance or a resolution, except the public hearing is required before a vote on the budget. So if a citizen does come forward and mention something or trigger something that you want to share or discuss, remember, your opportunity is not going to be now, but when we get to the regular city council meeting under council discussion before we vote on the ordinance. So with that being said, we have anybody that wants to say anything? Is that gentleman for this? I was just here to be early. Okay. How you doing, sir? Good. Okay. Now, this is a little different than other meetings where public power, we have to, or city council, but I'm going to just wait a few minutes in case somebody does show up. We don't have to wait. We don't have to be, we're going to be in for 30 minutes. No. Might be running late. Maybe they got stuck in the elevator. No, I can't believe it. But you know, it's really unusual. I guess y'all know this. Well, I know y'all know this. I'm sure. Is I remember when Rachel Moody came, it blew her mind. You know, most municipalities do not allow public comment, public comment period, every resolution order. That's strictly us. That's no, that is very unusual. We do. They'll do a session in the where you can speak on the front end, but no, that is not. That's not. That is normal. So that's so we give a lot of people. No, I think it's good. Yeah, yeah. But that is one. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No. Yeah. Okay, last chance if nobody has anything to say about the public hearing. Um, the thing about it is we do allow public comments before we vote. So if folks show up, they'll be able to do it at the regular 6 o'clock meeting. So the public hearing is now closed, and we'll be back at 6 o'clock. Thank you. Good evening. I'd like to call the City of North Augusta City Council meeting for October the 20th, 2025 to order. You are welcome to join me in prayer. Dear God, I ask that you would be with this council as we begin our meeting. Give us guidance on your perspective and the right priorities as we do the work of the city. I ask that you give each of us discernment, open our hearts and ears as we strive to honor you in our decisions in order to make North Augusta a great place to live. Amen. If you're able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, we'll do a roll call starting from my left.
John Felak.
Robert Freitas.
Pat Carpenter.
Britton Williams.
Kevin Toole.
David Buck.
Dennis Briatico.
Okay, item 4, approval of minutes. Are there any corrections, deletions, or additions to the regular city council meeting minutes of October the 6th, 2025, or the study session minutes of October 13th, 2025? Hearing none, they stand approved as distributed. Thank you. Okay, the next two, 5 and 6, this is very exciting. This is awesome. So first thing I'm going to ask Mr. Sean Dantzler to come down. He is the Drug Demand Reduction Outreach Program Manager for the South Carolina Governor's Counter Drug Task Force. That is a lot to say. But come on down, sir. Good to see you. Okay, let me tell you why he's here, and we're going to see you. I'm going to see you. You're going to be down on Wednesday, Thursday. Yes, that way it happens. Sure. Thank you. Okay. Whereas alcohol and drug abuse affect individuals, families, and communities across the nation, and whereas it is imperative that visible, unified efforts by community members to be launched to prevent drug abuse, and whereas Red Ribbon Week offers citizens the opportunity to demonstrate their commitment to drug-free lifestyles, and whereas Red Ribbon Week will be celebrated in communities across the nation on October the 23rd through 31st, and whereas businesses, government, law enforcement, media, healthcare providers, religious institutions, schools, and other community-based organizations will demonstrate their commitment to healthy, drug-free lifestyles by wearing red ribbons and participating in drug prevention activities. And whereas the City of North Augusta further commits its resources to ensure the success of this week, now therefore I, Britton S. Williams, Mayor of the City of North Augusta, South Carolina, do hereby proclaim the week October the 23rd through the 31st as Red Ribbon Week. In the City of North Augusta, I urge all citizens to participate in drug prevention education activities, not only during this week, but also throughout the year, making a visible statement that we're strongly committed to a drug-free lifestyle. And I've fixed my hand and caused the seal to say South Carolina, North Augusta, the 20th day of October. So, sir, I'm going to let you tell a little bit. Like I said, you're going to be down. We're going to have an event here on Thursday. So why don't you tell a little bit about it?
So Thursday, last year, council mentioned hanging red ribbons downtown North Augusta. So I took that as a challenge. And this year we will be hanging 48 red ribbons along Georgia Avenue during the week of from 23rd to 31st, excuse me. And looking forward to partnering with our partners at North Augusta Public Safety in the city of North Augusta and bringing the awareness to this.
An event Thursday for anyone to come, right? For
yes,
the community.
Yes, yes sir. For about 10 a.m.
Fantastic. We're excited. Thank you very much. Excited about it. Yes, sir. Is Officer Levy here? Do I see him? He's not. Okay. All right. Mr. Ricky Ayers, come on down here, sir. How are you? Do you want your family to come down here? You're good? They're good with it all? All right. Let me tell you why we've got this gentleman. You're not nervous, are you?
I'm good.
Okay, good. All right. We don't really do this off a lot, but I'll tell you, this is exciting and something that we're very thankful for. I'm going to read you this proclamation as we honor what this young man has done. Whereas on Friday, August the 29th, 2025, City of North Augusta Public Safety Officer Nick Levy observed an emergency situation on West Five Notch Road, just past Pisgah Road, North Augusta, in which a vehicle had just been involved in an accident with one of the vehicles off of the roadway, partially overturned in a creek. And whereas you rode up on the scene at the same time as PSO Levy, where both of you observed a vehicle off of the roadway, partially overturned in a creek with water in the cab area of the vehicle. And whereas, Ricky Ayers, you recognized the urgency of the situation and risked your life by entering the water with PSO Levy, where you were able to free both patients from where they were still inside the vehicle. And whereas you were able to assist in getting both up the hill from the creek to their waiting ambulance so they could be taken to a local hospital to ensure they received immediate medical attention care. Whereas the City of North Augusta is blessed to have such a thoughtful, caring, and compassionate citizen who was not afraid to risk life and limb to come to the aid of a citizen. Now, therefore, I am so proud as Britton S. Williams, on behalf of the citizens of the City of North Augusta, South Carolina, with sincere, heartfelt gratitude, to hereby recognize and honor Mr. Ricky Ayers and call upon all citizens of the City of North Augusta, South Carolina, to express their appreciation to Ms. Ayers for her selfless act of heroism, in witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused a seal of the City of North Augusta, South Carolina, to be affixed this 20th day of October, 2025. We are darn proud of you, sir, and thank you very much. They don't want to be recognized. Okay. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it, Ricky. All right, brother. Be good. Yeah. All right, Mr. Nathaniel, come on down here, young man. Now, before I read about why he's Employee of the Quarter, I wanted to share an email I got from our HR director, Ms. Kayla Ferguson. And she says, as the Employee of the Quarter program has truly blossomed, and just about Kayla saying this, I couldn't be prouder of our employees for recognizing their peers and the incredible work they do for our community. If you need something, talk about me, if you need something to brighten your day, Mayor, take a moment to glance through these nominations. They're a wonderful reminder of the dedication within our team. And we literally had about 11 teammates who were recommended by their fellow peers to be Employee of the Quarter. And I read those, and I'll tell you, every one of them would have been justified to be Employee of the Quarter, which makes the fact that you are the man even more important, okay? So I'm going to read about him. This guy's quiet, but he's very good. Here's what was written about you. Over the past quarter, Nathaniel has shown dedication, initiative, and resourcefulness in his role as engineering inspector. Nathaniel balanced training opportunities with daily work admirably, working late or coming early when needed. He showed drive to earn certifications that will allow the city to perform more advanced inspections and provide better service to citizens. He had to reach out to individuals with SCDOT that are outside the realm of his normal working cohort, and he showed willingness and tact while doing so. And I like that word, tact, SCDOT. That's good. We're going to be tact dealing with them. He stayed organized through additional job responsibilities, did not let anything fall unfinished. In addition to completing an SCDOT field training responsibilities, he kept his usual precision with inspection of residential and commercial projects in the city. His inspections were detailed and professional despite having traveling to field training hanging over his head. He was always able to keep SCDOT specifications separate from city specifications and point out the differences between the two. This brings value above and beyond his usual job responsibilities and helps keep the city in line with current engineering standards. It's for this reason that he should be recognized. And, sir, we have got a plaque That says Employer of the Quarter, award to Nathaniel Beck, July, August, September. And we are extremely proud of you and just want to thank you for what you're doing. Let's give him a round of applause.
This may be a personal achievement, but this is also a achievement for my department and recognizing that I have some amazing bosses and great leadership that I get to work under. So this is also y'all's achievement. Thank you.
Now, you don't always, government, you don't always hear folks promoting their supervisors. That's a good job. That's great. All right, we're going to jump right into old business. Item 7, planning development. Ordinance number 2025-13, adopting procedures for the imposition, calculation, collection, expenditure, and administration of impact fees imposed on new development, providing a purpose and intent, providing definitions, providing general provisions and applicability, providing for the establishment of impact fee accounts, providing for the appropriation of impact fee funds, providing for refunds, providing for appeals, providing for conflict, providing for severability, and providing an effective date. Do you have a motion to approve this ordinance on second reading? Who was that?
Me.
Dennis,
Motion.
okay, you got your thing. Second, Ms. Carpenter, thank you. Okay, anything you'd like to share about this, Mr. Clifford?
So, Mr. Mayor and Council, what I would like to say is that you've got 3 items here for consideration. They're all linked. This is the first of those 3 items, so this will cover ordinance number 2025-13, 2025-14, and 2025-15, which is essentially the adoption of impact fees for the city of North Augusta. We've had multiple study sessions on this. You had Carson Bice from Tishel Bice came and gave a presentation on this, and so to put it in very short terms, this would allow for an impact fee largely on the residential components to affect our Parks and Rec, and then also to our utilities, which would eventually fund sanitation trucks for growth of the neighborhood. So all 3 of these are linked. So this first ordinance before you is for the procedures of how these impact fees would be meted out. The next ordinance number 25-14, is actually establishing the charges, and 2025-15 is setting forth the procedures for annexation agreements for folks coming in from contiguous properties. So that's really what you have before you here today. I'm happy to make comments on any, or Tommy is happy to make comments on any of these, but just as you consider this for the second reading, these 3 items are linked.
Very good. All right, are there any citizen comments? Okay, any council discussion?
Yeah, I would just like to say that during the first discussion of the impact fees, I was not in favor of them. I'm still not in favor of them. I know there's a lot of good that can be done with it. I just don't like some of the provisions of it, the percentages of it, the extra work that's involved in it. And I just didn't think that as a personal position that the impact fees are good for our new development in our city. So I will continue to vote against it.
Okay, any other council discussion? All right, here now, I'm going to ask for a vote. All in favor? And that is 5-2-2. All right, item 8, ordinance number 2025-14, establishment of impact fee charges. Do you have a motion to approve this ordinance on second reading?
Motion.
Mr. Carpenter, Mr. Brodico, you want to be second? All right, she got snuck in on you. Okay, Ms. Clifford's already explained that. Are there any citizen comments on this one? Any other council discussion? All right.
Yeah, I just want to echo off of Mr. Felak. Just after a lot of thorough research and on the impact fees, I just don't feel comfortable. I think that there's some risk here that nobody's really talked a lot about, and so therefore that's why I'm against them.
Thank you for letting us know. All right, if there's no other council discussion, ask for a vote, all in favor? Okay, again, that's 5, 6, the 1. Item 9, Plan and Development Ordinance Number 2025-15 to amend Section 2-16 of North Augusta City Council, North Augusta City Code regarding impact fees for properties with utilities provided through annexation agreements. Do I have a motion to approve this ordinance on second reading?
Motion.
All right, Dennis got it this time. Thank you, sir. Second? Ms. Carter. I think Ms. Clifford's already explained this. Are there any citizen comments? Okay, any council discussion? All right, here none, we'll see how it goes out. All in favor? All right, 6-1. All right, thank you. All right, item 10, Planning and Development Ordinance Number 2025-17, amending Article 9, Signs and Appendix A, definitions related to halo illumination of the North Augusta Development Code, Chapter 18 of the City of North Augusta, South Carolina Code of Ordinances. Do I have a motion to approve this ordinance on second reading?
So moved.
Second.
Second, Mr. Freitas, thank you. Any you'd like to share about this, Ms. Clifford?
Mr. Mayor and council, just as a reminder, we've had this discussion a few times in study session. This really has to do with downtown mixed use 1 and 2 and the difference between halo lighting and neon lighting. Neon lighting being the lighting that you can see the bulb itself with the naked eye, almost, you know, like you'd see in maybe Las Vegas or something. And the halo lighting is where the light is hidden, if you will. The tube itself is hidden, and that can apply to LEDs or neon or other things, where it's the backlighting of a sign. And so based on discussions through the Planning Commission, back to the staff, it was recommended to bring this to City Council for consideration to allow halo illumination in downtown mixed use 1 and 2. And so this made it through a first reading, and so this is your second reading of that item.
Very good. Are there any citizen comments? Any council discussion? Yes, ma'am?
Yes, Jim and Tommy. Now, and I brought this up before, if other uses in the city, I mean, I know this, I guess, is for just downtown right now, but what if somebody out Knox Avenue comes about? I mean, would they present their, I mean, if they want the halo lighting on their business? I just don't want to do something for this group, no, you can't do it.
And what you're doing is you're putting this group on a more level playing field than those that are outside of the downtown mixed use 1 and 2. They would be allowed outside of this zoning district. Right now, internal illumination is not allowed in the downtown mixed use 1 and 2, but it is in general commercial and thoroughfare commercial and all these other districts. So it would already be allowed in those districts.
So they could already do it, just hadn't come and
So
asked.
we're not restricting, we're now
Okay,
allowing them to do it. They were
So
restricted.
we just open it up for this group to do it? Okay.
Okay. Any citizen comments? Any other council discussion? Everybody good? All right, here now, I'm gonna ask for a vote. All in favor? And that is unanimous. Thank you. Item 11, ordinance number 2025-18, amending table 5.1, use table related to self-storage / mini warehouses of the North Augusta Development Code, Article 5 of Chapter 18, the City of North Augusta, South Carolina Code of Ordinances. Do I have a motion to approve this ordinance on second reading?
So moved.
All right. Cool. Second?
Freitas.
Any you'd like to share about this, Ms. Clifford, you or Tommy?
Mr. Mayor and council, as a reminder, this was a item that came through or originated with the Planning Commission that came back to staff to bring here to the council. And really this is to do is amend the use table for self-storage areas. So we have a number of self-storage lots here in the city. There was a concern about how many were proliferating, and so the Planning Commission wanted to have the City Council consider restricting that to very specific industrial zoning, if you will. And so there are 2 current projects that are in the works. Those would be grandfathered going forward. So the current projects are going to be allowed to move forward, but this would be for future items coming forward. So ultimately, this would restrict the self-storage lots to industrial zone areas and not thoroughfare commercial, general commercial as they currently are allowed.
Any questions for him?
Yep, I got one. So if you currently have a storage building facility, say you have 100 units, can you add, say, 20 units under this?
You would be coming an existing non-conforming, as long as you complied with the rules and regulations going forward, you could expand that. Now, you couldn't buy additional property and expand into it, but you could
I
expand.
get that. I was saying if they already have extra property there, could they expand on that? Answer my question.
Good question. Okay. Are there any citizen comments? Any council discussion?
Yeah, just one question on the current project in the old Kmart building. Is that a facility that would have been improved had this gone in, or is that zoned differently?
I would
Would
like
it,
to
would it restrict the old Kmart building had they not been developing?
correct.
So it would.
Correct.
That seems to be a perfect place for one, to me.
There have been a lot of opinions put forth, Councilman Fielak, about what was the best use for that property, but obviously that property was pulled for the use of public storage facilities. So again, that is one of the two projects that's currently grandfathered by this item. So if it's approved by council, that will still be allowed to go forward.
Any other council discussion? Mr. Radica?
If we can restrict the amount of, or where we have self-storage units, it would seem to me that we can start looking at some of the citizens' concerns and start restricting the multitudes of other businesses that are piling up in North Augusta. Does that seem correct?
I would say, Councilman, that this was based on what the Planning Commission is chartered to do by the City Council is to provide recommendations. And so based on the density of self-storage units that are coming into the city across multitudes of properties across different zoning, they asked the staff to consider this option to be able to present to City Council. I don't believe the Planning Commission has provided any of their guidance to the staff. I know there was some discussion about a number of oil change places that are in the city and some other items, but none of those have been formally brought to staff through the Planning Commission at this time.
Yeah, but we're not saying you can't have storage. We're just saying, the only thing we can't, it's against the law to say you can't have a type of business. What we have control is how it's zoned. So, I mean, I don't know that's, so again, that's like commercial. So, am I right about that?
We're basically zoning, we're saying where they can be located. They are legal in the state. We cannot make them illegal. We can determine where they can locate.
Mr. Zier, can we not, like, say, well, there's an oil change place here. We don't want another oil change place for so many square miles of city, or there's a vape shop here. We don't want a vape shop within a half mile of a school.
It's very difficult. And we paid some $30-something thousand because we tried to do it with a fireworks stand. So you just cannot, you cannot use zoning to try to do away with something. If you can justify it, that there is a real impact to the community because of numbers of them, there may be a way, but it's extremely difficult.
Okay, and I have nothing against vape shops or oil change places. I'm just trying to flesh out a way to address citizen concerns.
We just have council discussion. Okay. Any other council discussion? Okay, all good points. Thank you. All right, here now, I'm gonna go ahead and ask for a vote. All in favor? And that's unanimous. Thank you. Item 12, ordinance number 2025-19, amending the business license ordinance of the City of North Augusta to update the class schedule as required by Act 176 of 2020. Do you have a motion to approve this ordinance on second reading?
So moved.
Mr. Bradico, thank you. Second, Ms. Carpenter, appreciate it. Ms. Clifford?
So, Mr. Mayor and Council, this is a reminder, in order for us to be compliant with Act 176 of 2020, which governs within the state of South Carolina how business license taxes and fees are levied, we have to be in compliance with that language. The Municipal Association of South Carolina provides a template for an updated ordinance, which we've included here within your packet, and this is the second reading of this ordinance, and we are required to pass this by the end of the calendar year. I just came back from a municipal association event for city managers last week, and this was one of the highlights to make sure that all the cities were moving forward for passage of an ordinance through the city council, and this reflects a high percentage of our revenue for the general fund. So in order to be compliant and to be eligible to receive those funds, we want to make sure that we're compliant with the state of South Carolina. So you should expect to see this every year in conjunction with the budget cycle as the state of South Carolina updates those class schedules.
Any citizen comments? Council discussion. All right, hearing none, I'm going to ask for a vote. All in favor? That is unanimous. Thank you. All right, final old business, item 13, engineering public works, ordinance number 2025-20, granting an easement to Dominion Energy South Carolina INC for placement of facilities. Do I have a motion to approve this ordinance on second reading?
I'll move.
All right, Mr. Freitas, thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, Mr. Toole, appreciate it. Anything you'd like to share about this? Mr.
This is a reminder for the mayor and council. We've talked this through a couple different study sessions, but ultimately what this will allow is for Dominion to be able to pull a natural gas line underneath Interstate 20 in the vicinity of Exit 5. And so if you go west on Austin Graybill Road from the storage place to the standalone emergency department to the True Hotel, there's an empty commercial lot, and then the lot after that is a city property. And so they've asked for permanent easement to allow them to put the underground natural gas pipeline in that location. City staff did an analysis on that property to make sure that would impede on future uses of that property, but it does not. And so ultimately our recommendation is to allow that to go forward because it'll provide better utilities for our citizens that live north of Interstate 20.
Thank you. Are there any citizen comments? Council discussion? All right, hearing none, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor? That is unanimous. Thank you. All right, we are here for new business. Item 14, Finance, ordinance number 2025-21, adopting a budget for fiscal year 2026 containing estimates of proposed revenues and expenditures by the City of North Augusta, South Carolina for the budget year beginning January 1, 2026, and declaring that same shall constitute the budget for the City of North Augusta for such budget year. Do I have a motion to approve this ordinance on first reading? Ms. Carpenter, is there a second?
I got it.
All right, Mr. Briatico, thank you. All right, Mr. Clifford, you want to?
So much like with impact fees, I would tell the council and our citizens that the next 5 ordinances listed under finance are bundled, if you will. So the first ordinance here, 2025-21, is adopting the overall budget for the fiscal year. Ordinance number 2025-22 is what establishes the millage on property tax for the citizens. Ordinance number 2025-23 is regarding one of our enterprise funds for water. So that sets the water rate for the city. 2025-24 is for another enterprise fund, which is for the wastewater fund. And so that establishes the rates there. And then lastly, 2025-25 amends the sanitation service fees for the city. And so I'll talk very broadly, starting off in item 14, ordinance number 2025-21, the one before you, that this budget was presented in a study session. In very big picture, what it does, it adds 2 mills to the general fund, and that pays for an addition of personnel, essentially. So you have personnel mostly associated with public safety in the courts. You have the addition of a dispatch supervisor, so it allows some more flexibility within our dispatch crews. It adds a station sergeant for the public safety headquarters. And really the benefit of those 2 positions for the public safety department is anytime there's a person that walks into the public safety headquarters to file a police report, we're going to pull somebody off the road to deal with them administratively to file that report. If we have a station sergeant there, that will take care of the requirement. That also helps animal control, because previously the animal control officer was the court security, so the public safety headquarters sergeant can also provide that court security. And then likewise, within the dispatch supervisor role, that allows us to have coverage into the dispatch shifts, because currently if we get down to a low number on shift, we have to pull an officer off the road to be able to do that. So even though these 2 positions are not directly road officers, they'll enable road officers to spend more time on the road as opposed to doing things at the station. We've also asked for the addition of a solicitor, a full-time solicitor, because of the backlog of cases that we have. We want to be able to run jury trials. We looked at Aiken, we looked at some other neighboring municipalities, and the majority of our cities that are our size have either a full-time or part-time or 2 part-time solicitors. So I think we've been talking about this for a while now, but I think this is the right time to put that capability to use. And lastly, this would add a animal control officer, not a sworn public safety officer, more like a code enforcement kind of person as far as pay grade wise, in a mid-year way to be able to handle the budget. So we had some other larger budget items that we couldn't fit into the general fund. I went through, I think, at some length what was not able to be added as far as the number of public safety officers and some other staff that was requested. We did add some additional requirements for some of our employees. So we bumped up some pay grades. So for example, in the Parks and Rec Department, we added the portfolio of kind of senior services and senior items. So we've taken an existing person, upgunned that position to give them that responsibility. We've also done that within the finance department. So essentially what you've got for your money essentially is additional personnel to be able to handle the growth of the city in public safety and the courts. And those are really the big adds, if you will, for the budget in the general fund this year. So I can go through the whole budget at this time, or if you want to just take them one at a time, I'm good either way.
Yeah, we'll just keep it going like we're doing. We'll just do each one. Yeah.
Okay.
Any questions for Mr. Clifford? Okay.
One.
Okay.
Yep, we had talked about the miscellaneous line in the revenue budget, and you were going to break that down a bit, but not too much. There's still quite a large number in just undesignated. I'm on page 50. Page 50, right in the middle, miscellaneous revenue. Just again, as a personal preference, it's just a large number just to put other in. There has to be some major kind of numbers that are going into that amount.
Right. So my understanding was that we were just talking about the miscellaneous recreation fees. So I did not address the other on that. That's mainly interest money that we got coming in, and then it's just really small amounts of money that are coming in from other places. And there's not really a good way to categorize that other than being able to pull the interest out.
Right. Well, the interest is out. Communication towers is out.
Mm-hmm.
Those are big numbers, but it still leaves about $750,000. It just says other. Just as a personal preference.
So yes, I understand that.
I'd like
It's
a little
just,
more detail.
I mean, I would have to break it down. Each little thing has its own little category, so it would end up being a very long thing.
Can it be subcategories? Just ask.
Well, Councilman, this is the first time hearing this, so it's hard to adjust the budget at this
That was
point in time.
yeah, that was my original comment in the budget meetings about miscellaneous accounts in general. I just don't like to see that large of a number that really isn't tied to a budget income. You could take a lot of items that are less than that number that are broken down: football fees, softball fees, baseball fees, which all could be just sports fees. But I think it's great to have that detail. Perhaps in the future. There's not a deal closer. Not a deal closer.
Good point. Any other questions for them? All right. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I'm doing it. Yeah, yes, I got it. You're next. Now, are there any citizen comments? So if there are, what I would ask you to do is, first of all, you got to do is raise your hand and be recognized if you got any comments on that. Yes, ma'am. Come on down. Linda, if you don't mind, just state your name and address for the record, please.
Linda Smith, 176 Springwood Drive, North Augusta. Been living here since 1965. I would like to see North Augusta spend some money, that extra money you're talking about, John, maybe, to build an animal shelter. North Augusta needs an animal shelter, and I feel like we're being stonewalled as a group. The Friends of North Augusta Animals are being stonewalled by most of the people on the council and the mayor. I know y'all have given us some little seeds, but nothing has gone forward. We don't have any list of repairs for the present facility, even though Tyler says he'll give some money for that. We don't have a citizens committee. I know we're on day 18 and 19 or whatever, but how long does it take to form a committee? I just think we're missing the boat. Y'all are missing the boat real bad. And we need to do something about that. You're hiring all these people. Why can't you hire somebody January the 1st to take care of the neglect of those animals that stay out there for 22 hours on the weekend that have nobody there? Officer McBride does what he can. His wife comes with him. The volunteers try to go out there as much as they can. And I just think it's really sorry that we can't get anything done. I know Dr. Hawk was the city vet, and if your dog stayed at Dr. Hawk's 2 days, he put them down. At least we try to keep our animals alive. But they live in terrible conditions. And all of you need to go out there and see that place. And we the citizens have been working really hard to try to change things, but we just feel like we really are not getting anywhere with nothing. Dennis fights the fight, and so are we. But we're just not making any progress, and I think North Augusta can do better than that. You have a bus that you run, nobody rides up and down Georgia Avenue. I saw it Thursday night. And I don't know, we just spend a lot of money on things, and we ignore the animals. So that's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Linda. Appreciate you sharing. Any other citizen comments? Okay. Any council discussion?
I do agree with Miss Linda. I'd like to see that person start January. I'm gonna vote for this budget anyway, because I never thought in my lifetime that we'd see a second person in animal control. And to me, that is a bucket list accomplishment. And I'm proud to put my name on this budget that adds that person. And I understand there are citizen concerns about raising the millage rate, and I see those concerns and I hear them, but everything that's being paid for by Mr. Clifford here and the way he's expanded this budget is for staff that people have asked for. You've asked for a senior coordinator. So please take advantage of this senior coordinator. Seniors, now is your time to squad up and form your little group and come start telling us what you want. We've asked for an animal control officer out there or a kennel tech. And we've asked for more help in utility bill. So I know that this raises the millage rate, but I think this gives you all things you want, other than not having that animal control person start in January. I do agree with Miss Linda. It's heartbreaking, and it's easy to disassociate, but when you actually go out there and you see the animals and you get to know the animals, it becomes heartbreaking. It's a matter of, is what we're doing wrong or right, and is it humane or not? Giving them their best second chance makes us human. It helps us. I mean, some of those dogs go to veterans. Some of those dogs go to abused spouses. Some of those dogs go to people in recovery that need something to lean on to get through it. Helping these animals, I think people just like, it's dogs. We don't want to put money into that. Helping these animals helps people. So, I mean, I'm proud to sign this budget the way it is, and I want to go forth with that, but it's just food for thought. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, sir. All right, any other council discussion? All right, hearing none, I'm going to ask for a vote. All in favor? That is unanimous. Thank you. Item 15, ordinance number 2025-22, levying the annual tax on property in the city of North Augusta, South Carolina for the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2026 and ending December 31, 2026. Do I have a motion to approve this ordinance on first reading? Ms. Carpenter, is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Buck, thank you. All right, anything, you've covered your bases, anything else you want to add to it?
Nothing to add, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. Are there any citizen comments on this? Are there any council discussion? The only thing I'm going to say is, I've said this each year, because I think it is important for citizens to understand we are trying to be very strategic with how we've addressed, how we address the millage and the capital projects. Millage, 3 years ago at our, I guess it might have been a second growth retreat, that council at that time, we had every director sit down and map out what does it look like for each of the departments over the next 10 years, because growth is coming. It's coming and it's going to continue to come. And what we wanted to know is, what is it that we're going to have to do so we can continue to provide the services, the value that citizens feel in the quality of life of North Augusta? And what I want citizens to understand is we have been addressing that since then in our budgets. One of the first area that we focused on is our planning department, because we were down to basically one person, except for our director. I know last year we added some, we looked at the Greenway piece. We've done some stuff on public safety. So we're looking at that. We're not making random decisions. And there are going to be years where, like last year, we didn't raise the millage. Okay, we're able to do those things. This year we need to. And so I think our council's take is we would rather do something incrementally as needed in planning toward where we're going versus some communities not far from us don't run properly, and they end up hitting their citizens with a very big hit. So I do want folks to know that this is not just some random thing we did this year. We do have a plan that we've been working off of. So I just wanted to make that publicly. I say this every year, so you can do it next year too. So anyway, with that being said, any other council discussion? Hearing none, I'm going to ask for a vote. All in favor? And that is unanimous. Thank you. Item 16, Ordinance number 2025-23, establishing water service charges by revising section 14-25 titled Water Rate Schedule generally of the City Code of the City of North Augusta, South Carolina, first reading. Do I have a motion to approve this ordinance on first reading? Is that Mr. Freeland? Was that Mr. Freitas? Okay. And second one is Carpenter. Thank you. And Ms. Clifford already shared. Any citizen comments on this one? Any council discussion? Hearing none, I'm going to ask for a vote. All in favor? That's also unanimous. Thank you. Ordinance number 2025-24, establishing wastewater service charges by revising section 14-68, title Schedule Monthly Wastewater Service Charge of the City Code of the City of North Augusta, South Carolina. Motion to approve this on first reading.
So moved.
Mr. Carpenter, second. Mr. Toole, thank you. Are there any citizen comments on this? Any council discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you. Finally, item 18, ordinance number 2025, amending Article 4, Section 14-123, titled Sanitation Service Fees of the City Code of the City of North Augusta, South Carolina. Motion to approve this ordinance on first reading.
So move.
Mr. Bradico, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Toole, thank you. Oh, got you, Mr. Buck. I apologize. You and Dennis both had that same low voice. Got me. Any citizen comments? Any council discussion? Hearing none, ask for a vote. All in favor? All right, that is approved unanimously. All right. Administration, ordinance number 2025-26, designating a high enforced tollway zone in Riverside Village. Do you have a motion to approve this ordinance on first reading? Ms. Carpenter, second, Mr. Freitas. Okay. We got something new, so what you want? I think on this we have.
I know our Assistant City Administrator, J.D. McCulley, is anxious to talk about the high enforcement zone, so I'm going to push it over to him.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is just a update from last week. We talked about this is a continuation of Riverside Village pedestrian safety and parking plan. This is a continuation of phase 1 is to designate a high enforcement towway zone in Riverside Village. What that does is it gives our public safety officers the ability to tow away vehicles that are improperly parked. That means parked up on curbs, in the center median, in Center Street. We see a lot of that on the curbs, also in our parking decks as well. And part of this ordinance I'd like to point out is that this does become effective once, if you all agree and vote for both readings, but also in the ordinance, it has to have accurate and clearly labeled signage in Riverside Village, so it's not going to be a mystery. We're also doing an information campaign. We have monthly meetings with Riverside Village Merchants Alliance. We inform them what we're doing, and we're working with them as partners in this.
Are there any citizen comments? Any council discussion? Okay. Hearing none, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor? That is unanimous. Thank you. Item 20, ordinance number 2025-27, revoking section 10-2 of the current code of laws of the City of North Augusta and replacing such section in its entirety. Specifically, the amendment will change the general election date for the city to correspond to the federal general election date. Do I have a motion to approve this ordinance on first reading? Ms. Carpenter, is there a second? Mr. Freitas, thank you. Anything you'd like to share about this, sir?
Mr. Mayor and Council, this is something that was discussed in the last study session. This would align the election season for North Augusta's municipal elections into an even year, so much like Representative Hickson or Senator Young in the federal election cycle is when we would have our election. So if this was passed on 2 readings, that would change the election cycle such that the next municipal election would be November of 2026. When you look across the state of South Carolina, there are 4 clusters, if you will, of municipal elections. The largest one is in the odd year November timeframe. Second largest is the even year November timeframe. And if the goal of the city is to have the most amount of voter turnout, then the even year certainly is a way to do that. And based on advice that we had from our city attorney, that it would be more advisable to shorten the length of the council terms and to add length to the council terms. That's how you get to a even year starting in November 2026. And so the language and the guts of the ordinance is before you, but essentially it puts us on to the federal election cycle starting next year.
Okay. Any questions from Ms. Clifford?
Yes, is the shortening of the terms, have we gotten to the point where it would be January 1st? Is it a date? Is it December 1st, right after the election? When is it? Have we gotten to that point?
When they would take office?
Yes.
Yeah, it's at the first meeting after the election results are certified.
So it would be December,
Yeah.
possibly.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's already, there's no change to that in the ordinance.
On the federal level and then the state level, aren't state representatives and senators take office January? Can we say January 1st instead of December?
Council can say whatever they want to.
Then, as a point of discussion, I think January 1st in the new year would be a better date for that, rather than,
That would require, we'd have to, another amendment to our ordinance, because there's a specific ordinance dealing with when you take office, as opposed to when elections are done. So if you were to do that, that would be another ordinance. Actually, it would not impact this. It would be another ordinance to change that date.
So I think what we can do is that, your point, I think it's a valid point. Doesn't have anything to do with this.
Okay.
So I think we just need to use that, just once, if this gets approved over the next two readings, then I think that's something we could have conversation at a study session from there.
Very good.
Okay, very good. All right. Are there any citizen comments? Okay, how about council discussion? Yeah.
I do want to say that I'm here to be a public service, not a politician, and I'm all in for this because it's the right thing to do to get as many people out to the polls as possible. It's American. But I do want to point out that in South Carolina, 75% of people voted a straight party ticket. 60% of those people voted a Republican ticket. And when I stood up and pledged allegiance to this flag, and I prayed to God before this meeting that I did the right thing for North Augusta, I couldn't let this go by without saying, let's drop the party labels and let's go platform to platform, mano a mano. You come up with your best policies for the city, and I'll come up with my best policies for the city. Everybody does their own thing. The people have been clamoring on social media for nonpartisan elections. They want to know not what party you're with, but what you're going to do for them. It has been proven where it's been implemented to reduce polarization and conflict. It produces more fruit, better engagement of independent and unaffiliated voters. If we really want to get the vote count up, there's not a reason to oppose it. Promotes candidate qualifications on merit-based choice. Local municipal issues often don't map neatly onto national party platforms. Infrastructure, recreation, zoning are often best handled with pragmatic, community-orientated decision-making. Nonpartisan elections encourage that orientation. I think that with all this property we're opening up and all these rentals we're going to have, it's going to increase the Democratic vote here, no doubt. So I say, let's build the bridges before we make the divides. Let's drop the labels and let's tell North Augusta what we're going to do for them when we go to the polls. Thank you.
I'll make a comment. Yeah, I disagree with that. I think that a primary election helps to reduce the field. You could have an election of 10 to 12 to 15 people in an election. I think it becomes even more difficult. I think it gives people another opportunity to settle their platform. You're a great example of the fact that the label doesn't matter. And I don't think it does. I mean, that's the way politics are run here in our state. And the fact that primary elections are usually run straight ticket, but it's just not the way they work out. it didn't work out that way.
I think there are templates for us to have a nonpartisan primary to reduce some of the field. I also think unless you're fearful of coming up with your own platform and going head to head and what's best for North Augusta with the other candidates, that there's no reason not to be for bipartisan election. I feel it's just not needed. What in city politics are we going to vote on? I mean, when I was running against Robert, I looked at Robert's platform. Our platforms were identical almost. We had about the same 10 points. What in city politics are we going to vote on that requires partisanship? Nothing.
Well, we're not going to make that decision tonight. We're voting. That's not what this is voting on. If that's something that there's enough on council that wants to have that discussion, we can address it. But we're not going to do that. We're not doing that tonight. That's not what we're talking about. So there's a lot of things social media's been clamoring about. And the one thing that I think we can all agree on, that we do agree on, is that we need to change our election cycle. Because what we do want most of all is more people to vote. And I think the number one way you do that is change the date to where it fits in everybody's schedule for the normal presidential and midterms. So, so if there's any discussion about that, I don't mind council discussion. We're not going to talk about anything else. Okay. Hearing none else, I'm going to ask for a vote. All in favor? That is unanimous. Thank you. And let's see. All right, we're down to 21. Parks and Rec, resolution number 2025-34, authorizing the city of North Augusta to enter into a contract with Kendrick's Construction Company for the Living History Park Restoration Project. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, was that Mr. Bradico or?
Mr. Buck.
All right. Golly, y'all really sound the same right now. Clear my ears. Thank you. All right, Mr. Clifford, anything on that?
So this is a straightforward award of a bid. So the FEMA has been working through with the city along with the Living History Park and insurance companies about the damage to the Living History Park. I know sometimes Living History Park has preferred vendors they like to work with, but in order to be eligible for FEMA reimbursement and insurance, they have to go through the city procurement code. So ultimately, we went out to bid for work at the Living History Park. We received 3 bidders. We had a committee to go ahead and look at those bids, and ultimately the recommendation is to move forward with Kendrick's Construction that can do the best job there inside the Living History Park. So I know this is something that's been discussed on the dais before about the status of Living History Park, and this will get the ball rolling on some of those repairs.
Very good. Are there any citizen comments? Are there any citizen comments? Yes, ma'am. Come on down. You've been waiting patiently. I was wondering which one you were going to come up for. If you don't mind, speak in the microphone and just state your name and address for the record, please.
Okay, my name is Judy Dooley, but I live in Edgefield County. But I am on the board for the Living History Park. And I just want to say we appreciate the city working with us, getting the park up and running. We did have our event this past weekend. We had about 1,900 come through the park. They were from England, from Alaska came and enjoyed it so much on Saturday, they came back on Sunday. We've had, I want to say, 9 different countries came through the park this weekend. So we do have out-of-town guests, and the citizens were so happy that we were reopened. And we do appreciate the city working with us to get it 100% back.
Getting that banner up helped too.
It did. It did.
Well, it's one of the, I've said this many times, I told Lynn this, I think we all agree, it is, and we need to continue to work toward that, but it seems to be more people outside the city of North Augusta know about that Living History Park than the citizens who live in it.
Exactly.
And it really blows my mind, quite frankly.
It does.
It's
They're
a
like
jewel.
around the block. That's what we're hearing, and we keep trying to advertise.
I know. Anyway, well, I'm glad it was 1,900. That's a great turnout, considering
Yes.
everything you've been through.
Especially getting the word out late that we were opening.
Well, we're moving
So
forward
thank
with
you.
it, so that's good. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Any other citizen comments? All right, any council discussion? All right, here none, I'm going to ask for a vote. All in favor? That's unanimous. Very good. Okay, administrative reports.
I have none this evening, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. All right, we now are down at presentations, communication, and recognition of visitors. Let me just, I'm going to kind of change this up a little bit because I do want to respond. I told a number of people, I do want to give an update on where we are with the animal control. So at this point, there were 3 initiatives that we shared. The first one, just so folks know, Captain Hayes met with Tyler last Thursday. Captain Hayes and Officer McBride, they have the list of the improvements that they are going to present to Tyler. Tyler, and he spoke with Tyler today. Tyler has not finalized his list yet. He's talking some other FONA folks, but I believe they already have an agreement. They're going to meet on October the 28th. So when they meet on the 28th, they're going to come to an agreement of what those improvements are. And depending on what the improvements are is going to dictate. I'll just use, for example, and I think I'm right on this. If ventilation in a window end up being one of those, I'm just hypothetically, that is something probably our city can do and won't cost very much money, and we don't have to get a bid, and we don't have to come back to council on that. So that's something probably get done immediately. If they come to an agreement that it is a larger item that administration has to come to us for, then we'll make that decision. But they are meeting on October the 28th. So we're just waiting on Tyler to get that list so that we can, they'll sit down together and we'll go from there. So that's where we are in item 1. Item 2, the additional hire. I think we've already addressed this. I will just say this about what we're doing by the mid-July is very common. We do that a good bit each year. It seems like we normally do that. And I will tell you, for me, if we have to prioritize, we have a backfill court system, and I get emails all the time about that issue of getting a solicitor, a dispatch for public safety, and a staff sergeant. Those 3 entities impact citizens. And for me, I will put that first over a person strictly for the animals in this case. So I wish we could prioritize it different, but that's the prioritization that we made. But what Dennis just said it, people have been wanting that since 2019. This council, if we have one more vote, when we vote, we'll have that. So I would say that's progress. It's slow, but it is a progress. The last thing is on the task force. Councilman Toole is helping me reach out to prospective members on the task force. I'm also talking to our city attorney, Kelly Zier. I, quite frankly, have kind of got out ahead of my skis, and I actually think how I have mentioned we need to structure it, as well as how we need to go about doing some of the parameters. I don't think we're going to have to do that, which means I think we're going to be able to move this along faster. So unfortunately, it does take time because we've got to get this right, and we are working on that. So all I can ask you is just continue to stay patient with us because we are going to get it done. So I'll continue to give the update each meeting as need be based on where we are in those 3. And then the last thing is I want to commend J.D. McCauley, our assistant administrator, Carl Waldauer with tourism, and Jen Goldman. We have been, when we started the tourism department, they branded Explore North Augusta, which is ENA. And if you've ever been to our city our ENA website, it's incredible. It has community calendar. Well, that team has now taken that and putting it on an app. So here's a little promo, which is available. I'm going to let Ricky do that. Hey everybody, I am Britton Williams, Mayor of North Augusta, South Carolina. I am so excited. We are about to introduce our new informational app. We're using our incredible Explore North Augusta website. We're taking that website, putting it on your phone, but we're also adding a number of really cool
add-ons. For example, one of them is we're going to have maps. You want to know where a park is, you can put it will take you to the park with the description of the park. It's going to be fantastic. What I'm really excited about is a trolley tracker. So we are going to be running a trolley every Friday night and on Saturday and Saturday nights. And now from Riverside Village to downtown, no matter where you are, you can click on the tracker. You'll be able to see the little trolley moving on the line to your location. So it's going to be an absolute game changer. Not only does it have our community calendar, which tells you where every event is with our ENA Explore North Augusta, but also other organizations in the city. There'll be a link to go to our city website and our city calendar. So if you want to know what night is the city council meeting or what night is the planning commission meeting, all of that directly off of this app. We cannot be more excited as you continue to explore all things North Augusta.
So that's available now. So we'll be putting that out on all the different social media, and you can scan it and download it. So it's going to be awesome. JD, good job with you and Carl.
That was a good job. But can I add one more dedicated hard worker on tourism, Derek Boyd?
Oh, yeah, the whole team is.
Yeah.
I was just focusing on this.
Yeah, the
particular
two,
thing,
but Derek Boyd is outstanding.
Yes, he is. Okay. All right. Okay. Carl, anything for the good of the order that's positive? Yeah, we got to get citizen comments, but I'm going to just.
Jubilee this weekend.
That's fine. All right. Now, I jumped around because citizen comments. So this is time. Come on down, sir. Anything that's not about this agenda, you're more than welcome to share with us. You've been patient too. State your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Joseph Mills. I live at 504 Goldman Street, North Augusta, South Carolina. Lived here since 1993. Born and raised.
Great.
I recently have an issue I've tried to apply. I'm not familiar if y'all are familiar with the hazardous mitigation grant. I have an issue by my home where there's about 28 feet away is an eroding, they refer to it as a cliff. I call it a drop. So if I don't know if you're familiar with soil creep, apparently after Hurricane Helene, it's like a wooded area by my home that a lot of trees fell over. It's disrupted soil. It's caused a lot of soil wash, serious eroding. Recently bought the home, closed on it July 28th. And a lot of these issues are covered up by shrubs that have been there for 20 years, things like that. So as I'm starting to investigate, I called the emergency division in Columbia, South Carolina. They told me I do qualify, something that they would come check out. But the issue is you have to get, if anyone wants to look it up afterwards, you have to get your local city or government to be sort of a sub-applicant for you and apply on your behalf. I'm not sure why they set it up that way, but.
Okay, so a couple things. We are addressing mitigation. We talked about our study session with the grant. We need to get your address to our city administrator, and we'll look into that. Is it something you can respond now, Jim? All right. Let us make sure you got it. Give us a phone number.
Okay.
You got that? So let us look into that, and we'll reach out to you.
One more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Also, it's not as much as my property is, but there's a road that I guess the children, as they carpool and leave the elementary school, they come around the corner. There's also a drop on the other side of the public road as well. It's not as serious risk as mine, but they did say I qualify for the grant.
What's elementary school?
North Augusta Elementary School.
Oh, North Augusta,
I see
okay.
apparently there's some sort of car rider section where they come in
Yeah, mhm.
and then they come out, and then there's a wooded area which you would think was just straight even, but it actually drops off about 30 feet. So
Well, we will definitely be back in touch with you very soon.
yes, I really appreciate that.
No,
That's
thanks
all
for
I
letting
need.
me know. First time I heard about it. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, I spoke to them too. The Columbia, sorry, I'm gonna say this analogy. The people in Columbia, the hazard mitigation told me the only thing standing in my way is having a city, local government just apply on my behalf, and that's it.
All right.
And
that's
I
all
would
I know.
absorb any extra cost so the city doesn't have to.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good, bro. Thank you. Appreciate it. Good to know. All right. First time I heard that. Any other citizen comments? All right. Anything? Yeah, everybody's good? All right. Hope to see everybody out this weekend. It's going to be a great weekend. Matthew West Friday night and Blues Traveler on Saturday. We stand adjourned. Thank you.